I love football.
I bloody love football, don't I?
Back of the net.
Desire. Hungry. And a lot of times I use the word horny to my players.
When we make clean sheet, I pay to everybody a pizza.
No. You have to make a decision in relation to that, because I need to know from you what is the most important thing. If it is to play well, or if it is to win matches.
We've shown wonderful character this week.
For our League of Ireland 2022 previews, not reviews, I'm not going to say review again. And it's time to talk about Cork City. Cork City, obviously the capital of the People's Republic of Cork, the micro-state within the Republic of... And we have the other three Amigos podcast. First time on the show, we have Damien. Damien, thanks for coming on.
You're on, thanks for having us. Well, one of the three Amigos anyway, the other two were too busy mourning, basically. So that's why I'm here with you. So, unfortunately, you're stuck with me.
Not too bad, yeah. I'll take your word for that there are three of you still. But there are definitely three.
There is. Well, it could just be me with three personalities, but yeah, it's there is three. We'll have to do a video sometime, and people will notice, and it's just not just me putting on silly voices.
Yeah. I change my hairstyle a lot, so whenever we do a video, people tend to think I'm a different person.
Yeah.
Cork City. I think there's a reason to be optimistic this season. Before we get to that, how do you look back on last season?
I think most people, after the disastrous season that we had in 2020, I think the years get mixed up now, but when we got relegated, Colin Healy came in. There was a few changes straight away. Most Cork City fans kind of knew, this is not going to happen straight away. So we were okay with last season. We didn't expect too much from last season, but to see young talent brought through, some of the signings brought in were interesting and playing a different side of football. The start of obviously last season wasn't the best, and I think Cork City were probably one of the biggest teams that were affected by having no fans, because if you've ever been to Turner's Cross, it's a great place to come, and the team know that the fans are behind it. But had a bad start to last season. Actually, the second half of the season was quite good, very optimistic, and brought in some decent signings mid-season. Barry Coffey on loan, Aaron Bolger came in, and they really strengthened up the midfield. So last season, we're okay. We were okay with that. There was a few results that we dropped a couple of points against silly points, towards the end of the matches and stuff. But the most Cork City fans are okay with last season. We know it's a building season. We always kind of knew it was going to be a 2-year project, I think, under Colin Healy. So this year is the one, obviously, that we're more looking forward to than last season. Definitely.
I think transition is the word a few people have used, that it was kind of not quite a write-off, but it was almost, a free hit in a way. Is it promotion or bust this season?
Yeah, I think most of us now expect promotion. Unfortunately, I suppose, Galway are in there, Waterford came down, you had Longford are in there, Bray are still, it's a tough division. The first division this year is going to be a tough division. And I think we've made some really, really good signings. Possibly, we've got Cian Murphy up front. I don't know much about we sent Keating as well, but I think Cian, he was our leading goal scorer last year. He done really well for a team that finished, I think, 6th or 7th. He got 12, 13 goals. So I think up front we might need something, but we are solid out. I mean, we've got 5 strong centre backs now, which is a bit much. But and then we've got Barry Coffey, Aaron Bolger, Alec Byrne in the middle, and we signed a new guy from Tampa. I don't know how to pronounce his name, Mr. Burch. Other signings came in, James Duna. We have Jimmy Corcoran came in from Wexford, and some really kind of experienced players. Kevin O'Connor came in from Shelburne. Obviously, maybe he's 12th time coming back to the club, but he's back. And we've got Ali Gilchrist came. So, all in all, I think, I just think that this year is, if we don't get promoted, it will be tough. Yes, but I think we have to go for promotion this year. We must go. At the start of the season last year, we kind of said if we're stuck down here for more than 2 years, we could be here forever in the first division, and we need to be in the Premier Division.
Well, we've seen that happen. We've seen the likes of you mentioned Bray there, Galway, Wexford, even Cove Ramblers. They were all up in the Premier Division, and then they go down, they stay down for a while, and they turn into first division. it's such a small league and it's such a small Premier Division. It's very hard to climb back up and stay up there.
Yeah, but I mean, we obviously we were the double winning champions in 2017. So in 4 years to fall down that far it was very, very hard for City fans. But we obviously had a few issues financially, and we're now building for. I think hopefully, we've got some fantastic young fellas coming through. Obviously, Cathal Heffernan's gone across to AC Milan on loan. Marco Mani, another player who signed a new contract with us. So we've got some really young players who are coming through with plenty of experience as well. I mean, Dylan McGlade, I think this is his year to sign or to shine even. We kind of thought that last year. He didn't get a great run last year. He's been kept out of the team by Cian Bargary, who had a brilliant season as well. But I think we've got the youth, we've got the experience. Colin Healy plays good football. He is obviously kind of new to the management game, but he's up against, as I said, there's some tough teams there. He's up against, there's some tough teams, but we have to have, we're going for promotion. That's it. We'll be Champions League 3 years' time.
Absolutely. Champions League at Turner's Cross.
That's it. We've had it.
We're talking about, obviously there's a tough league, and it's going to get tougher when Irish Sea County get into the league eventually, so you want to get out of the league now. But you're going to, you mentioned there a few names. Style of play, what kind of thing are we going to see from Cork this season, do you think? What kind of style of play, particularly in the home games down at Turner's Cross?
So we had a huge discussion, actually, because we were all saying he should play 4-4-2 last year. And every now and again, he played 4-4-2, but he also played a 4-3-3. So it is attacking football. And I just think last year, we were like, certain games, we were fantastic going forward. And it was not some games we were shocking. I mean, we went to watch Wexford away. it was a nil-all draw. And there was a lot of us kind of scratching our heads going, Jesus, is this where we are? 0-0 against Wexford away from home, and it was a poor Wexford. They were bottom of the league at the time by a fair few points, and so there's sometimes it's fantastic attacking. I mean, we played St. Pat's in the cup, and we had a great match against them. We beat Sligo in the cup last year, and there was certain games where we played fantastic, and certain games last year where we just didn't. So it's about getting the consistency of playing really, really good attacking football. But again, I think up front last year, we did struggle. If it wasn't Cian Murphy for the start of the season, we really struggled getting goals from somewhere else. Cian Bargary popped up with a couple, but it wasn't until Barry Coffey kind of signed and we got these surge and runs from the midfield, because we got him on loan from Celtic, and this guy, he kind of changed our midfield last year. So he was, and we got him back for this season as well. So he's got these attacking runs from midfield. Well, he just ends up in the box and he's in the right place getting goals. You've got Aaron Bolger probably going to play behind him, maybe with Alec Byrne. And then the new players, of course, James Duna is in, experience from Athlone. And Kevin O'Connor can sit in the midfield. I think he can play left back, which is where we kind of struggled for cover last year as well. And I think, like, the more as I'm talking to you now, I'm getting really, really excited. Because we've got some great signings and we've got some great players that were there last year. Gordon Walker was probably one of our standout players last year. He signed for us from it was the UCC, and right back, he was one of the in some games he was the player who was just given the most. You could see he wanted it. So. We hope all the players are like that this year, because there's a few times it kind of dropped off, and that's expected. There was a few young fellas, and I just think that we're ready. Jesus, I just want to go to a match tomorrow now. I wish there was one tonight.
I'm glad I got you enthusiastic ahead of the return of your Amigos podcast. Looking at there's a fair few Munster derbies in the league. It's nearly a bit like in the Copa America when it's all South American teams. They invite two other teams from Asia or North America or Africa or something. It's nearly a bit like that. It's the Munster Senior League with invitations. What's the atmosphere like for the Munster derbies? We have Waterford, Treaty, and Cove Ramblers.
Cove Ramblers we played last year, but at the start there was no fans allowed, so it was a bit of a disaster. And then we played them in Cove, and I think there was no fans. I know there was a good few lads went down, and they were over the back wall. But there hasn't been. I think this year now will be the season where we can, I'm trying to think of the second game at Turner's Cross. Was there fans allowed for Cove Ramblers? Don't know if there was actually. I think it might have been reduced capacity or something. I don't think we've had a proper Cove derby yet. I think we're down there. We're down in Cove on the 22nd of April. I think off the top of my head. But yeah, it's a good atmosphere. It's what happened last year was we beat them in the first game of the season. We said nothing, and then I think they beat us in the second game, and they started putting up Cork is Claret on their social media. So it was nice to see a bit of banter like that and stuff. But I think Cove, we were looking at last year saying we have to finish higher than them, and we did in the end. But Waterford is always a great trip, and Treaty, I think last year there was a good crowd of us went up to Treaty, and I think there was a bit of argy-bargy with fireworks being thrown into the crowd and stuff like that. But there's no Dublin teams, which is unfortunate because we do enjoy a good Dublin banter. But yeah, so it is. We've no Dublin trips. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. I suppose Bray is like a Dublin suburb, but it's
it is County Wicklow.
Yeah, it is.
I want to be clear. It is County Wicklow. I don't want any doubt about that from anyone listening to. We're a County Wicklow team that was bought by a Dublin team. We won't go there though.
No, I mean we've literally got we've three Munster. We've two is it? Three Cove. Treaty and Waterford, so 3 months of derby. So the Munster Senior League Mark II, with a couple more sprinkled in.
And just looking at finally, you can tell us a bit about the other Three Amigos podcast. I know you do plenty of bits. You're sitting in front of me here with not in the same room on Zoom with a microphone and headphones and a fancy background. You have a higher budget than us.
Fancy background. We don't. We actually we've a great sponsor who they do look after us, and we're able to buy some stuff like that. So, but yeah, we started our podcast. Started this actually probably a year ago today. Actually, it's a weekly podcast. It's where we dissect and have a bit of fun with City, having a bit of a laugh. But it's just three overweight guys who think they know a lot about football talking about football, and that's we lots of fun. It's quite fun, but it's quite serious as well. And I suppose the probably one of the highlights that we had last year was we came up with an idea of getting 2,000 people to a women's National League game, actually the Cork City versus Treaty game at the last game of the season. So we really the thought behind the drive for 2K. And we got about 1,100 people in for a women's National League game, and it broke the record attendance for a women's National League game. So that kind of came from us. So we were delighted we did that. It's a weekly thing. We record them on the nights. It's out on Wednesdays. We get fantastic feedback and listeners, and it's a bit of fun. We've probably hurt a few people along the way in the year, but it's very tongue in cheek, and it's for Cork City fans. We're hoping to get some guests on actually this year. I think people are sick to death of listening to the three of us.
Yeah. Well, look, it's we always like to have other people League of Ireland podcasts on. I mean, I think people know we don't exactly take ourselves very seriously, so it's nice to hear about other podcasts. I mean, it's I always say you can take the pod seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. And where can we?
And they're always our opinions. That's the other thing, is that people we give our own opinion. People will be like, oh, you can't say that, and we're just kind of go, but it's just our opinion. We've got myself. I hosted, and then there's Declan. Declan eats and breathes statistics, so he could come on, and we could be asleep listening to him going on about certain statistics. And then Wayne's just like the angry guy. He's just never happy. Even if we were top of the league, I think he'd still struggle to make Wayne smile. And that's it. We just have a bit of fun between the three of us. It's a good crack.
Yeah. Where can we find all your stuff?
The other Three Amigos on Twitter and Instagram, and totap.ie is our website. Well, it's not a website. It's just we're too lazy to set up a website. It's just a link that brings you to our podcast, Spotify, and all good podcast apps.
All good podcast apps. None of the bad ones though. You don't want to be on a bad podcast app.
We probably are. We just literally I won't say a bad word, but we literally just sold ourselves for free. Just gave ourselves over free to everyone who would take us. Bad podcast apps as well.
We're downloading a few as we speak and uploading it to our YouTube just to get it extra content. We just want content, but you can find all of us on YouTube, PostToPost.Sport, and don't forget to subscribe and listen back to all our other League of Ireland previews. And we'll hopefully be doing a few bits on Women's National League as well. And it's PostToPost.Sport.Blog. We'll have our new Irish football page. Damien, thanks very much. Where are Cork going to finish in the league?
We're going to finish in the playoffs, and we're going to win the playoffs against Dundalk.
Fair enough. And, I look forward to bringing that up if we get to do a Dundalk season preview. Damien, thanks very much. And it's PostToPost Sport on Twitter and Instagram.